Yo, what's going on YouTube? Good morning. Happy Monday. It is time for another episode of Grab or Gross. I am your host, Big Old Buck. We do this every week. We go over the Spotlight cash cards. Now they're the Spotlight key cash cards. Until they change it again, I don't know. But this week's a big week. A lot of people are looking forward to this week. I don't know if I'm one of them. I really... The kinds of decks that the big card this week is going to provide just isn't my style, and I might be one of those assholes that plays the opposite. We'll have to see. But let's get into this week's episode of Grab or Gross now. All right, so first up, we have X23. If you have X23, it will be the Ryan Gonzalez X23, and this thing is hot. This thing is... super nice. I like it a lot. It's still a Series 5 ultra rare. When this is discarded or destroyed, regenerate it at a random location and you get +1 energy next turn. Like, X23 is a staple in Destroy now. I absolutely love this card. And as far as variants go, this might be my new favorite. Like, if you go through all these variants here, the Peach Momoko's pretty cool. The rest of them are just okay. This is the best X23 variant out there. So... if you're super excited about this week's big card, this week's new card, then and you don't have X23, you definitely want to grab it. However, if you do have X23, you want to grab this variant anyways, because this is a card that's going to be played for a long time. I don't see it ever getting a nerf because it's not OP. It's just a perfectly awesome card, and this is a perfectly awesome variant. If I had extra keys this week, I would 100% be using them to try to grab it because this is a sexy card. So grab. If you don't have, grab. If you do have, it's a grab it. All right, next up is Dakin or Dakin. It depends upon how you pronounce it. It's a Series 5 ultra rare. On reveal, add the Muramasa shard to your hand. The Muramasa shard, whenever it's destroyed or discarded, doubles his power. I like this card a lot in discard. Some people even sneak it into Destroy. Some people sneak it into Silver Surfer. And as far as variants go, holy crap, this is a nice one. I'm not a huge fan of the chibi cards overall. Some of them are really cool. Some of them are just meh, but this is a cool one. If you look at his, he didn't have very many variants. Of course, I love the Dan Hip. I have the Dan Hip. And I have the mech. I don't have this Horseman of Death, even though it's pretty cool. But I mean, this might arguably be his best variant. I mean, it's a good looking card. Now, is it a card that if you don't have, you need to go out of your way to grab? Not necessarily. It's not as good as X23. But it's still a solid card, especially if you like discard, especially if you like Silver Surfer. It's another card I don't ever see getting nerfed in any way. It's just a perfectly balanced card. It's just a good card. I mean, I enjoy using it. And like I said, this variant is super cool. Once again, if this was a week you're all in on the main card, which we're getting ready to go over, and you landed on this variant, I wouldn't even be mad. It's for sure a grab variant. The card overall, though, is probably one that you don't need to get. All right, last but not least, it's the new Series 5 card. I'm gonna go with Annihilus. I don't want to go with Annihilus because, you know, might get El Busy excited, so we're just gonna go with Annihilus. On reveal, your cards with 0 or less power switch sides. Destroy those that can't. So this is gonna be one of those cards that's gonna go in those junk decks. I was gonna say those stupid junk decks because I don't like the junk decks. I can't stand them. But I think this is gonna be a staple in those kind of decks. Now, is there other decks you could use it in? Sure. I mean, he's a 5/7 for crying out loud. That in itself is okay. It's another card to go in our Cerebro 7 deck, possibly, you know. If you throw it in a lane on turn 5, you know, by itself, or, you know, you run into one of those games where you got like rocks thrown at you or something like that from another junk deck, or you know, you put it in against someone who's running junk and you send them their junk back. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'll probably be running Destroy a lot when this card initially comes out this week, because I'm just not a big fan of the junk decks, and I'm not even sure if I'm going to go after this one. I'm close to having 6,000 tokens again, and as you know, if you follow this channel, I've had Living Tribunal pinned for 2 months, and I really would like to have that card to play in my Hella deck. So, I don't know. I only have 1 key right now, so I'm not sure that I'm going to go for it. I always say that, and then I end up going for it. It's just going to depend on how many keys we get this week. But 100%, you're like, Buck, get to the point. It's a grab. It is a grab because it's a powerful card. It just is. And let's go over some of the variants. The Dan Hip is... I mean, it's okay. And I love Dan Hip. I think this one here, this Annihilation one is pretty cool. This one, the Steampunk, I'm not a huge Steampunk fan. The Adia is pretty dope. Yeah, that's pretty dope. This is the one you get in Spotlight, though, if you happen to buy them, and then you go for the variant. So, Spotlight variant's dope. Probably the best one. But this is 100% a grab. You need to have this card, I think. It's definitely better than the card that's coming up next week. We'll get into that next week, obviously, but if you have your keys, this is one to spend it on. As much as I hate to say it, and as much as I hate putting more people onto the junk deck type meta, and there might be other decks this one's going to be good in, it's a grab, 100%. All right, if you want to take a look at a few decks this card will be popular in, my dude Pulse Glazer, make sure to give him a follow on Twitter, and I believe he's on Twitch and YouTube. Definitely puts out a lot of good content, so make sure to go check him out. He's got a few decks here. There's a Thanos deck, which looks pretty interesting. That has Sentry, Annihilus, Death, Killmonger, Carnage, Hood. Now, something like that, you know, Goliath, something like this, you could see me playing more than something like this. This is a traditional junk deck. Hood, Ghost Spider, Titania, Black Widow, Carnage, Jeff, Viper, Green Goblin, Debris, Shang-Chi, Annihilus, Doc Ock. Yeah. Or even there's a Hazmat one here. This one was not done. This one here was is a mix of Dara's and Annie's deck, apparently. Pulse Glazer posted it on here. It's got Hood, Forge, Spider-Ham, Nico, Black Widow, Falcon, Shadow King, Werewolf, Beast, Gladiator, Shang-Chi, and Annihilus. So that's got Gladiator and Annihilus in it. And then last but not least, this one looks kind of interesting. Hood, Nebula, Black Widow, Hazmat, Luke Cage, Viper, Rogue, Debris, Absorbing Man, Sentry, Annihilus, and America Chavez. So, and there's other ones down here. There's a Darkhawk one. It's a Lockdown deck. There is a Galactus deck. Another junk deck here. A couple junk decks. I'm on Marvel Snap Zone now. Marvel Snap Zone has some pretty good lists if you're looking for cards that haven't been released yet that people are already putting decks together for. So make sure to go check out Marvel Snap Zone, as well as Untapped GG. Both great sources for lots of information for deck building, cards, and all that good stuff. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode of Grab or Gross. I hope it was helpful. I hope it helps bend your decisions with your Spotlight keys this week. Make sure you're very smart with them. Don't waste them, and make sure you plan out your token usage and your Spotlight key usage together. It will help you out greatly. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. I answer any and all questions that are asked to me. And if you enjoyed this video, thumbs up is much appreciated. It helps. We're getting so close to YouTube partner. We've blown past 1,500 subscribers. Thank you very much. And if you need more Buck content, I stream on Twitch every day but Sunday. So come give me a follow over there. It's free, and we have a great community. We play Warcraft, Rumble, Marvel Snap, both games featured on my YouTube now. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, you can catch me right here. Same Buck time, same Buck channel.